What's up, y'all? Can you hear me out there? How's the sound? Because I got something new. I got one of those, what's the brand? DJI mic setups, and I want to see how good it is. So I thought I'd get in a Clippers Talk After Dark for you tonight and get a little bit of feedback from you guys on how it sounds. Overall, so far, it's good. I can hear myself well enough. Ozzy's in here. First to Ozzy. As yes, I am parked in my Kia K5 at the park late at night. This is probably dangerous. I just locked my doors. This is how urban legends start. I'm probably getting murdered, but come on. It's the it's the bank. It's Burbank. What's the worst that can happen? Steve said sounds good. Good. Sounds all right on my end. So, I had a couple ideas for what we could do tonight. But a lot of this can be open forum. It's up to you guys. Let me know what subject matter you want to cover. Ozzy said, when Kawhi. I know that's going to be something that comes up a lot here. When Kawhi is Brian Seaman. I think Kawhi, and I said this, I don't know, sometime within the last week. I think Kawhi returns before the end of 2024. I really do. I believe that. Unless there's a setback. There's a setback. In that case, all bets are off. Then maybe January. I just hope that his knee responds well after having back-to-back practices that I am excited about. That's a big deal. I wasn't even sure if he would practice today. Apparently, he did the same stuff. He did some offensive script stuff, 5-on-0, 5-on-0, 5 guys out there versus air. But he was running full speed, or at least Coach Lou said everything was at full speed. That's extremely encouraging to me. And for more on Kawhi, from someone with just a little bit more credibility than me, Lauren Rosen came on earlier today, and I want you guys to check out that show. That was, or it's in the live section here on Clippers Talk. Lauren Rosen, your Clippers reporter, your newest member of the broadcasting team. She came on, killed it. Was awesome to have her. And I'm sure she'll be on again. Everybody seemed to really enjoy it. I knew you guys would. Many of you were requesting her to come on the show. But I just want you guys to know my feelings about Kawhi Leonard right now. I'm still overly positive, maybe too positive. Chen7500 said, Clippers Talk in the dark. Turn on the light and you find Adam in the main chair on the Death Star. I'm afraid this battle station will be fully operational when your friends arrive. Yeah. Can I get a Lando? Yeehaw! You know, originally it was going to be called Revenge of the Jedi, not Return. But revenge is not a characteristic of a Jedi, apparently. God, I hope no one calls the cops on me. I'd consider it. Just because if somebody was outside my house this late, yeah, it's a problem. But hey, they're next to a park. What do you expect? Of course, there's going to be weirdos doing vodcasts from their cars. You moved here. You didn't know? Adam family tapping in. It's the Adams family. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da. Punk's Gone Wrong said, I'll be in Dallas next week and hopefully going to Saturday's game. They play Thursday and then Saturday with a day off in between. Force choke. That's kind of how I'm feeling this night. It is late. I am in a public park, but it's Burbank. What could go wrong? Whatever happens here? A cat gets stuck in a tree once in a while? It's pretty safe. That's why I moved here. I do like how the schedule lines up. Because the Clippers, after the Denver game on Friday, 2 days off. Then they play Monday, another 2 days off. Then they're in Dallas Thursday. Then they have a day off. They stay in Dallas. They play them again on Saturday. Day off. Then they're playing, what would that be? The Memphis Grizzlies Monday night. I don't hate that schedule. I don't love the teams involved, but at least the Clippers don't have a back-to-back in there their next 5 games. And that's over the next 2 weeks. So, Derek Jones Jr. is supposed to be reevaluated in 2 weeks. There is some hope that he's only out for 5 games. That's reevaluated. He's out at least 2 weeks. But if he only missed 2 weeks, he'd only miss 5 games. Nick Ramos said, just got the tickets for the 27th. Hope to see Kawhi's debut. That would be against the Golden State Warriors, right? Who just blew a game. They were up by 6 in against the Houston Rockets. The Cup got wild in this one. I can't believe they lost that game. And in the manner they did, they called a foul on a scrum where a basketball was on the ground. And Bill Kennedy called a foul on Golden State. Jalen Green went to the free throw line with 3 seconds left. Knocked them both down. Houston was down by 1. They won by 1. Unbelievable game. Andrew the GOAT said the Rockets only won because the referees, that game was rigged. Is Andrew the GOAT perhaps a Golden State Warriors fan that is bitter, filled with acrimony? I don't think it was rigged. Why on earth would they rig a game for the Houston Rockets to win instead of the Golden State Warriors? That would be the bigger draw moving forward in the in-season tournament. That makes 0 sense. David Hong, back to the Clippers, said, good time for a rest for the entire team. James Harden's set to play on Friday. Remember, he, Amir Coffey, Derek Jones Jr., and Mo Bamba, Derek Jones Jr. after the first quarter, all missed that last game against the Houston Rockets to some degree. Amir Coffey got hurt in the layup line, apparently. Well, James, Amir, Mo Bamba, they've all been practicing. They're playing on Friday. They're going to need them. That's going to be a really tough game. Punk's Gone Wrong said, when's Kobe coming back? I'm upset he's not healthy. He would probably be getting some minutes. Yeah, that's tough. He was supposed to be reevaluated in 2 weeks. So he's got another week from today before he's reevaluated with that back injury. I heard he was getting shots up, but wasn't really moving much today at practice. Illustratin NBA? Illustrat NBA? How do you say that? Illustrate NBA? Illustrate NBA. Kawhi, Derek Jones Jr., December 27th return would be epic. Oh, both of them back at the same time. I suppose it would be. I have the car on, by the way, because it's quite cold. And I do have the seat warmers on. I do have the appropriate headwear. Clippers beanie. Mauricio said, I know you don't like talking about this much, but who would be your ideal trade target? I don't have one. Get Kawhi back first. Get Kawhi back, then tell me about trades. I'm not trading any assets until we see Kawhi healthy again for a sustained period of time. Mauricio, if you have a trade, I'll analyze it. I don't have one. The only trade, and I'm just speaking in general terms, that the Clippers should be doing is getting rid of PJ Tucker, of course. And if you have to give up Bones, so you do a 2-for-1, therefore they get an open roster spot where they can convert Jordan Miller's two-way contract to a standard contract. I'm good with that. Chuck brought it up earlier on Clips and Dip. When in the history of Clippers fandom has anyone been like, hey, I put this into the trade machine and this trade actually eventually happened? Isn't that crazy? When has that happened? Show me a receipt where anybody actually had a reasonable trade that actually occurred. A trade for a bigger body, but you don't know a name. It's always stuff like this. I'm sorry, but it gets exhausting. Nick Ramos said Kawhi's return would be the biggest acquisition any team could make. There you go. Nick Ramos said literally getting a future Hall of Famer. Not just a future Hall of Famer, a top 75 player ever. Before his career was over, he was named a top 75 player ever. I don't know who Trentlin is. You're talking about Trenton Flowers? I might try him, but before I get to that point, I told you guys earlier today on Dime Dropper 2, I'm starting Nico Batum against the Denver Nuggets. That's my move. And guess what happened today? Coach Lou said exactly what I said yesterday. It's matchup dependent on who starts in place of Derrick Jones Jr. between Nico and Amir Coffey. That's exactly what I told you. And it makes sense to me to have Nico Batum in the starting lineup against Denver, a bigger body, somebody else that can switch on to Nikola Jokic. I think that's the move. So before we start talking about getting to Trenton Flowers, if Trenton Flowers is playing, that's probably not a good sign. That might mean the Clippers are down big. Guys, he's 19. He's played 8 minutes in the NBA. Everybody gets excited about the young guys until they see too much of them, and then they're like, okay, I'm good. We can move on. It's like the backup quarterback. He's everybody's favorite until you see too much of him. Trenton Flowers is young. David Hong said this year is playing with house money. Got to stay above 500. We have the pieces to make a sneaky run. I don't think just a sneaky run. They get Kawhi back healthy. Oh no, there's a car. They get Kawhi back healthy. They're a legit contender in the Western Conference. Period. I've seen enough. They've been far too good without him to say anything but that. This is a team that's ready. Maddox said the only team in the West I think will be tough for the Clippers is Mavs and Thunder. I think the Denver Nuggets too. They have this guy who he's won 3 MVPs. He has a finals MVP. And even if Jamal Murray never comes around, that's still just such a tough out to have to go against Nikola Jokic. And they might make a move. Mauricio said, I just asked, Mr. Puppet Master. Is that what that's supposed to mean? I understand. I want to see Trenton Flowers too. But if you're seeing him Friday night, it probably means the Clippers are getting run. Because there's still other guys they can go to, even without DJ, even without Terrence Mann. Punk's Gone Wrong said, I'll be mad if Kawhi plays Thursday in Dallas and not on the Saturday when I'm there. I'm never getting mad when Kawhi plays. MKXLNT said, Houston is no joke. I don't buy into them winning in a 7-game series against the Clippers. If they have Kawhi and James Harden, they have the 2 best players in that series. If you have the 2 best players in that series, there's no way you should lose. So what up, JC? Houston doesn't have one guy averaging 20 points per game right now. They're young. I like them. I think they're still a guy away. If they get Jimmy Butler, yeah, they're a problem. They're a vet, a more seasoned player away to me from really being a problem, as I rev the engine here, from really being a problem in the West in a 7-game series. 7 games. It's different. It just is. I don't like that lens flare. Like my least favorite director, Jar Jar Abrams. Why won't my light turn off? Maybe it will here in a bit. I tried to turn it into there we go, lightsaber. Mauricio said, if we started with Kawhi healthy beginning of the season, what would you say would our record be? That's a good question, Mauricio. The 25 games in, I would say maybe, okay, even if he's healthy, he's not playing every game. So let's say Kawhi had played 21 of the 25 games because they've had a ton of back-to-backs. They have had 6 back-to-backs. So 12 of their 25 games have either been within the parameters of the front end of a back-to-back, they played that game, or the back end of a back-to-back. I would say, how about 16-8, 17-7? How about 17-7 if they had Kawhi? Where would that put them in the Western Conference if they were 17-7 right now? Let me pull up the standings for you. Let's see. This is updated after Houston won tonight. 17-7 would have them just behind the OKC Thunder. They'd be the 2 seed. That's what I believe they would have been if they had Kawhi for 21 out of the 25 games so far. Ice Cold Beverage said, are you worried at all Kawhi is rushing back? No! Ty mentioned Kawhi feels he's been letting the team down by being out. I know about the Stephen A. Smith interview. I reviewed all the tape here on the show. Ice Cold Beverage. Hey, man, there's a beverage here. Kawhi had surgery in May. We're talking about 7 months. Rush back from knee swelling? Not a meniscus? Not an ACL? 7 months later, and he's still not back? How could you say he could be rushed back? Do you think they're not aware of his injury history? Do you think they would ever let him come back too soon? Come on, man. Mauricio said top 3 in my opinion if they had Kawhi to start the season. Majority of the games were close. You're missing your closer. Ozzy said get Law on here. Tango Mango said, does Ballmer know how dedicated you are with Clippers talk? I don't know, but I love Steve Ballmer. God bless Steve Ballmer. David Hong said, I'm looking forward to Clippers talk broadcasting from Burbank Walmart parking lot. You mean at the Empire Center? Is that where I'm going to have to go next? It'd be too tempting. There's too many fast food places over there. You got Wendy's, Panda Express, Krispy Kreme donuts. If that red light went on, I'd have to stop the podcast for a second. Yeah, I believe if they had Kawhi, they'd beat the Suns. Maybe they lose one of those games. The Suns are good, but both those games extremely winnable. Very, very frustrating. Especially the first one. I think they were up by 9, 3 minutes left. And what was the second one? Did they lead by 21? Do I want to know? Do I want to remember that? I'm sorry for yelling Ice Cold Beverage, but how on earth could you think 7 months after surgery in May could be considered rushed back? What information do you have that anything is close to in this entire process could be perceived as being rushed back? with Kawhi. I don't know how you could even question it right now. Maddox said if we had Kawhi, yeah, I just read this. Adam, you dumbass. Man, that was a brutal loss. The Golden State Warriors. They're just not a contender to me. My cousin, who's a big Warriors fan, was saying, "Oh, they're a contender. They're one of the best teams in the West." Clippers beat them twice without Kawhi. They're like 4-7 their last 11 games now. And they're talking about making a trade. Why? Because they know they're not a contender. Maddox said, with a healthy Kawhi, do you think we would have beaten the Mavs in 6 last year? Of course. Are you in a healthy Kawhi and Paul George still? Because if you just have Kawhi and James Harden in that series, I think they take out the Mavs. Mavs were not playing that well. Luka shot 40%. Terrence Mann was locking him up. What failed the Clippers wasn't their defense, though. It was their offense. And that's where Kawhi, that setting in a playoff series with a lot of isolation out there, thrives. That's when he's at his best. That's when he goes Terminator mode. Hopefully, he'll be back very soon here. I would say Kawhi's always saying, come with me if you want to win, not come with me if you want to live. They need him. I am ecstatic that after practicing yesterday, even though it was non-contact, even though it was limited, he did the same stuff today. I didn't think that was going to happen. I figured they'd give him the day off. Tomorrow, according to Lauren Rosen, they got a travel day to Denver. Check out the pod with her earlier today. But, Ozzy asked an interesting question. Is Batum the odd man out when Kawhi returns? Are you saying if everybody is there? No, I don't think so. I think Jordan Miller's the odd man out first. I think Terrence Mann will lose some minutes, as he has. Alex said, you going to buy a red Kawhi jersey once he's back? I'm not big into wearing jerseys anymore, but I highly recommend everyone else to do so. I do. It's my favorite jersey they've had, ever. Maddox said, I would love to see Clippers versus Celtics NBA Finals, but if he's healthy. Be a tough series. I think they could beat anyone in the West with a healthy Kawhi. They'd have a chance. I don't know about Boston. I fear Boston. But they could lose to the Cavs or the Bucks or the Knicks, or maybe Philadelphia gets it together. Maybe they don't make the finals. David Hong said, man, I just pray for one great playoff run with Kawhi to boost a very good Clippers team. Can you still see me all right? Said I lost my connection for a second. Chat, you there? You good? How long is a typical Clippers practice? I couldn't tell you that. I don't know how you define typical either. Bunit said, I think the Clippers are going to bring back Kawhi early January, probably give him a couple of contact practices and really test that knee. Well, the contact practices could be coming sooner. After he did 2 non-contact practices, if he feels good tomorrow, I would assume at some point in the next week he does a contact practice, guys. That's my guess. Just based upon some of the reporting that's out there. I don't have any inside information. I know Shams Charania, I guess, was talking about how Embiid, it took him about a week and a half to get through the contact practice stuff. Middleton, same thing when he came back, if you want to compare him to other players in their return path. Nick Ramos said, I knew it was a good day when that Amir Coffey red jersey came in. Ooh, I like that. Ice Cold Beverage said, you know more than me, Adam. I thought Kawhi may have rushed back against Dallas for the sake of helping the team, but I'll take the timeout. You're not getting a timeout. There's a big difference going on. ice cold beverage. Him rushing back for a playoff series is different. There's a higher sense of urgency. The stakes were incredibly high. Of course, you would risk more to come back for a playoff series. That's different than what's happening here. It's the regular season. It's not as necessary. They're 14-11. Why would he rush back? But I appreciate you. Boonit said, Sham said Kawhi not coming back in the next 2 weeks. I don't think that's exactly what he said. Let me see. Shams, Kawhi. I actually didn't hear the audio. I know he said it on the Evil 4 letter now. Does anybody have the exact quote from Shams Charania? I'm trying to find it here. Doing my best. Why is it this difficult? Internet is saying Shams had a rough week. I don't know what happened. He doesn't have to deal with Woj anymore. Who else is beating him? Maddox said, I hope Kawhi is back versus the Warriors. Get healthy, Woj, by the way. Maddox said, I hope Kawhi is back versus the Warriors on the 27th. I'm going to that game. A lot of people are keying in on that game. My stance is simply, I don't know the game. I just think it's more likely than not. Now the car's driving by with one headlight on. This is a little bit creepy. Is that my killer? You guys ever read scary stories as a kid? Was there one about a guy in a Kia K5 GT doing a Clippers Talk podcast late at night that got butchered? I hope not. 27th. I could see that. I don't think it needs to be a home game. A lot of people seem to be under the assumption that, oh, make it a home game. He'll play in front of the fans for the first time. I don't care if it's home or road. I guess it'd be a bonus if he came back for a home game. But to me, it's just come back when you're healthy and you can help the team win. Because if he came back against Dallas or against Memphis on the road, I would not be upset with that at all. Jimmy Butler's agent went after Shams. I thought that was NBA Central, not Central. Did he really? Ozzy said January 4th, home versus Atlanta. Maybe. It's all conjecture, speculation, scuttlebutt. Rock said some guy named Brian that was named in the Jimmy Butler trade request said Shams was lying. Ozzy said December 31st at Spurs. I'm confident he'll return once he goes through all these protocols, checks all the boxes, and goes through all the steps. It's a process. David Hong said, realistically, the team has to make the playoffs without Kawhi. Playoff run is at least 20 to 26 games for 4 rounds. If we can get 40 games at 85 to 90% of prime Kawhi, we got a shot. 40 games, I'd probably sign up for 35 right now. But you're not wrong, David. I like the way you're analyzing that. Boonit said, I don't care either, but I see the team thinking home game. I'm telling you guys, he has come back on the road before from injuries. I think when he's healthy, he's coming back. Because those 2 in Dallas are going to be tough. That game in Memphis is going to be tough. There are seeding implications already. We're 30% of the way through the season. You want to wait longer just to have him return for a home game because it's more of a fairy tale return? Fairy tale to me is just get Kawhi back, get him healthy, get him out there because they need him. And wherever that setting is, I don't care. They just need him healthy on the court, contributing to winning. Ray said, LMAO. I was just watching Adam freak out on Clips and Dip because his microphone wasn't working. So I had one of these microphones that I bought a while ago, DJI. I think it's a popular brand. And I've seen Carlo use these for his TikTok. So I'm like, yeah, this is professional. Some handmade quality shit right here. And I thought, Happy Gilmore reference. I thought, yeah, maybe I should give it a try. Because earlier today, I had my mic settings off for the Lauren Rosen interview a little bit. I listened back. I was upset with it. I felt, uncomfortable. Whenever my microphone isn't working right and I can't really hear myself, I can't be myself. So I'm really trying to figure this out right now. It's just, I got to, because they won't let me podcast in my apartment anymore. Hence, the park car. Rock said, Bernard Lee, my bad, was the guy mentioned in Sham's report and said it was a lie. Well, if Bernard Lee said it, I don't know. I think it's, reading tea leaves, and if there's smoke, there's fire stuff with Jimmy Butler and Pat Riley and the Heat organization. There's been some blood boiling to the top. Maddox said, Adam, what seed do you think will end up at the end of the season? I don't know. Tell me how many games Kawhi's playing, and I'll tell you what seed. Nick Ramos said, met Bill Simmons, Clippers source. Guys selling bootleg shirts outside of Intuit, and can confirm he'll be back before Christmas. Big, if true. Rock said, right? Tomer reposted it. Ozzy said, my final guess. Why are these cars driving by? Spooks me, man. Freaks me out, man. Ozzy said, my final guess is December 30th at New Orleans. Man, I don't want this to be the last podcast. Why is that car driving so slow? Is this safe? Should I be doing this? Bunit said, Kawhi dropping 26 in his first game back and fans will be shocked. He's probably going to have to do it in 20 minutes. I don't know if he's going to be playing enough for that. You're laughing at everyone guessing Kawhi dates. You're guessing how many points he's going to score. What's the difference? Hot meat kettle. Maddox said, I hope we could see a Clippers versus Warriors playoff series, Kawhi versus Curry. Am I driving? Do I look like I'm driving? I'm looking at the screen the entire time. I don't have a self-driving car. Now this car that I'm highly suspicious of just turned around. It looked like a white Acura. I'll give you guys the license plate as it goes by in case I do end up getting killed. You guys can avenge me. At least give the plate number to the cops. Oh, now they're parking. Maybe they're just home. Look, I'm the creepy one. I'm in the car near the park with the light on, talking to somebody, talking to many people. Rock said, thought about getting the noise reduction for the walls. It's too much to have to cover up. It's all brick. The room's too wide open. It would cost so much to soundproof my living room where I have my desk and my setup because the TV situation. I like my setup. I don't want to change it. Julio Muchata from Italy, I believe. Hey, Adam, I just wanted to say that here in Italy, most NBA journalists and podcasters didn't believe in Kawhi's return until just a week ago. They were even hinting at his retirement. Well, that's just doomer stuff. Look, I have my own concerns. I'm going to say this and put this as clearly as I can. Kawhi returning is only half the battle. Him remaining on the floor and the knee not swelling up after playing NBA basketball, that's the other half. That's more important. that he can actually play basketball again without the knee swelling up, because it's kind of been a problem as of late. Julio Machado said, and as for T. Lue, they've only recently backtracked on years of downplaying his abilities, claimed he achieved results only because of LeBron. It's crazy. I've been debunking that false narrative for a long time. I remember the 2016 finals and some of the moves and chess moves that Coach Lue was making out there. He was brilliant. Do they win without LeBron? No. Do they win without Coach Lue? No. They needed each other. He was playing Richard Jefferson, who was old and thought to be washed, and going small ball in Game 7. He was doing crazy stuff, and it worked. Maddox said, Clippers versus Thunder, Western Conference Finals. For that to happen, the Clippers are going to have to be a higher seed, though, or else they'll run into them before the Western Conference Finals. Tom said, is Houston an upper echelon team in the West? Not to me in a 7-game series. I fear OKC and Denver more than Houston in a 7-game series. Probably Dallas, too, yeah. It's no disrespect, but they haven't proven it. They're young. They're on the come up. They're on the rise. But they don't have one guy that you can say, go out there and get me a reliable 30 points per game. Who's that guy for Houston? They don't have a guy averaging 20 points per game right now. Their defense is great. They play well together as a team. But in the playoffs, you have to have high-end individual talent and guys that can go get a bucket. Do-it-yourself DIY buckets, as Carlo Jimenez would say. Bunit said, I love your lives. You're chill. I love you. Was that not chill? Rock said, people hit the thumbs up so Adam can get a mansion next to Harden. That'd be nice. I'd party with James Harden. I think I'm going to trim my beard tonight or tomorrow. Just a little bit. But shout out James Harden, the bearded wonder. Alfie said, so no one is concerned about who will be our backup point guards moving forward, KPJ, Bones, or a trade. I'm not going to say I'm not at all concerned. I think that's fair, Alfie. I think you bring up a really good point. I just don't see the coaching staff going away from KPJs to this point. They haven't to this point. I think they're committed to trying to figure out if they can get a better version of Kevin Porter Jr., a more consistent, efficient, and higher basketball IQ version of KPJ. That's what it looks like to me. They're all in with this. He's on a 2-year. Ozzy said, off topic, but why is PJ Tucker still on the roster? Because who's trading for him? That's why. How do you trade that contract and not get something worse back, meaning a guy who has multiple years left? The only thing going for PJ is his contract is $11 million expiring. It's going to happen at some point. I truly believe that. I don't think he's going to be on the roster by the end of the season. It's just going to take time and the right team to say, yeah, we'd rather have that expiring money on our deal, and we'll give you a little better of a player because maybe it's a guy they're giving up that they don't have in their long-term or future plans. What else we got here? Lizio, Houston on the come. Chill. I haven't used that in a while. It is a real thing. It's a financial term. You want me to read it to you? Man, I don't even know if I should be out here. The lights are too bright. I feel like Jared Allen. The car's brights are on. My God. Why they got to drive by like that? On the come is an idiom, a saying, that means someone is experiencing a period of success or improvement in their life. Look it up, guys. You want to make fun of it? Bunit said, does PJ Tucker still exercise, or does he just chill and DoorDash? I'm sure he's working out. Maddox said, Adam, you don't fear the Warriors in a series? Not with their current roster. I still think they're going to make a move. I don't love the matchup, but they don't have enough on-ball creators outside of Steph. That's their problem. They can get hot from three. The role players could step up. Andrew Wiggins is tough when he's locked in. Buddy Hield. Kuminga, if he continues to progress here, that's what could scare you. Pods improves. But I just don't see enough self-creators on that team. They're too dependent on Steph, which is why you're hearing all these reports of, well, first they wanted Paul George, they wanted Markkanen, they struck out there. Now they want Jimmy Butler or LeBron. It's because they know they're not a contender right now. I think I got freaked out by my own reflection there. How often do I line up the beard? I don't know, once or twice a week. Rock said, not really worried. It's going rather well. You have to give guys rope to grow. Maddox said, if it's Clippers versus Thunder, I got Clips in 6, maybe 7. Brunit said, we don't need a real point guard off the bench. We have Harden, and OKC doesn't have a true point guard. Kawhi is another ball handler that we will get back, and Dunn off the bench can handle the ball. When Kawhi is back, James Harden's usage rating is going to drop significantly. It's going to help this team. I think they're going to turn into a top 10 offense. Not on the season, because they've had 25 games without him so far. I don't think they're going to end up being a top 10 offense on the season maybe, but I think over the first 10 games with Kawhi Leonard, you might see them being a top 10 or having a top 10 offensive rating. I don't think it's going to take long. But it depends how Kawhi looks too. Rock said, surprised all the teams supposedly interested or of interest in Jimmy Butler already have a lead ball dominant guy. Houston might be the only team that could work. I think Houston's a really good fit for Jimmy Butler. And if they got him, I'd be much more concerned about that team. So Losers Gaming said chill. Is that about the on the come? Adam, a question from Julio Muchata. At this point in the season, with Kawhi's return to the rotation on the horizon, would you consider making a trade that shortens the roster but increases overall talent? A consolidation trade that would take away some of their depth but give them more top-end talent? No. Why do I say that? Because it likely means you're giving up good players and assets, and you don't even know if Kawhi Leonard can stay on the floor yet. Guys, why are we talking about upgrading the roster when we don't even know if Kawhi Leonard can stay healthy? It doesn't make sense. You don't give up any more future assets until Kawhi and his right knee can prove to stay healthy, to where he can play multiple games, maybe even a back-to-back. Okay, it's not going to be a back-to-back, but a month straight where his knee's not swelling up. Because the only way you're winning a championship is if Kawhi is healthy. So why would you give up anything until that's been proven that he can stay healthy? I'm not giving up any more future stuff. That's nuts. How many times have they doubled down and gone all in? You can't do that anymore. You don't have the assets, first of all. So the few you do have, you have to hold on to. Ezio said, in a hypothetical situation, would you trade Kawhi for Kuminga in a first? I don't know. One first? It's probably going to be a bottom 10 first-round pick. Probably not. Rock said, I think Butler would be a bad fit in lineups with Green. Curry spacing could be even more compromised. You talking about with Jalen Green or with Draymond Green? You're talking about with the Warriors. Okay. I think in a playoff series, it would make them better. Jimmy Butler with Golden State. Bonit said, what we need more, in my opinion, is a forward 3 and D who can rebound and a backup center. Oh, my God. Yeah, those guys are easy to come by. Let me know who that guy is, Bonit. How long are we going to do this? They're not going to be a good rebounding team. Oh, they're one of the best rebounding teams out there. And they still don't have that forward that everybody's been talking about for 6 months, at least. They've been fine. And in a playoff series, you can play Nico Batum heavier minutes and have him play the 4. Alfie said, will anyone be mad if we happen to trade for CP3 or negotiate a buyout for him? Makes $30 million. How's that going to happen? Maddox said, do you think Kawhi and Harden duo is better than Kawhi and PG duo? I have to see more, but probably. Definitely has the potential to be. Jonathan Ing said, the Clippers need someone to get downhill and paint touches, either Kawhi at the elbow or something that gets the defense in rotation. We could use more downhill juice. To Bunit, who was talking about a forward 3 and D guy that can also play center. Bunit said, you are right. See how we look with Kawhi and see if he's healthy in February. If so, look at the holes in the roster and make a move then. Wild thought, right? I've only been saying it for like 2 months. Rock said, right, any move should be about improving the long-term future. Even if Kawhi plays, we don't know if he can hold up for 4 rounds of playoff-level basketball. Get picks if possible for expiring. Ray said, the thing that excites me most about Kawhi's return is the ability to close games in the clutch. Power Rangers 2.0 coming soon with catch and shoot Norm. Power Rangers Turbo. Jonathan Ing said, Harden is the only one right now who has done it consistently, even if it hasn't been at a level we'd like to see. KPJ goes downhill and attacks multiple guys collapsing and gets himself in trouble. Yeah. If they could find a way to get Malcolm Brogdon, I wouldn't hate that. But again, I'm not giving up anything of value right now, anything, until I see Kawhi get on the court and stay on the court and remain healthy. I'm not giving up anything of value until that happens. David said Steve Ballmer is not going to have a building year in the new Intuit Dome, a rebuilding year. I can't see any major trades unless we can get something for PJ. I would like to keep Bones just in case Harden goes down. S said gangsta Adam. Divine Hammer said CP makes 10 million. Does he? I thought he was still on that big contract. Oh, you're right. It was a 1 year, 10 million. My bad. 5-second timeout. Bunit said, Norm going to level up even more when Kawhi is back. I mean, I don't expect the efficiency to go down when he's getting more wide open shots when Kawhi is back. I don't expect him to score 24 a game anymore, but as long as the efficiency is still there, I'm good with it. 18, 19 points a game with Norm. Bones is shooting 44% from 3. Yeah, on how many attempts? It's because the last 2 games, let me tell you, it's because the last 2 games, Bones is 10 of 20 from the outside, and he hasn't played much before then, so it's highly influenced his percentages because it's such a small sample size by the last 2 games. And one of them was during very inconsequential time. Chelsea parent said, just hopping on. You're a sick man, Adam. Facts. All this Clippers content, we are blessed. Make sure to check out the Lauren Rosen interview. Let her know you're happy to see her on Clippers Talk. Ezio said, Zoo is so underrated this year. I hope he can elevate his game by being able to get a bucket off the dribble. And he can dribble into his right-handed hook shot. What are you talking about? Like, snatch it back and hit a fadeaway? Chelsea parent said, by the way, love the interview with Lauren earlier today. If you guys haven't watched, make sure to check it out. She is a superstar. Boonit said, who do you think plays Friday in place of Derek Jones Jr. or does the rotation just shorten? I've already said it a million times. I think Batum is going to get the start. I think they go 9-man rotation. Kobe Brown's not available. Ooh, shooting star. Or Rocket. Nico Batum. When you wish upon a star, Clippers win the championship. Okay, sorry. Nico. He's only been playing 18 minutes per game. He was playing 30 minutes per game during the summer for Team France. He can't play 26, 28 minutes per game over the next 5 games without Derek Jones Jr. Should he return in a couple of weeks? I think he can. I'm leaning into Nico Batum right now. This will help him catch a rhythm with his shot, too, just getting more consistent minutes. Maddox said, I'm also going to the Clippers versus Celtics game on January 22nd. Alfie said, Brogdon is making $22.5 million this season. Don't know who you'd have to give up for that. Well, it would start with PJ Tucker. I don't know. Somebody else is talking about that trade, not me, man. I'm just saying I'd like Malcolm Brogdon, even though he's injury prone. He was kind of a Clipper for a second. I had it first, Jonathan. I've been saying it for like all day yesterday when I had Dime on. He was trying to argue for Amir. I got Nico against Denver. I said it. It's going to be matchup dependent. Then Coach Lou today said the exact same thing. Y'all give me no credit. Got to do it myself. S said, saw the recap of Warriors versus Rockets game. We, the Clippers, have work to do if we want to beat teams that have a great game plan and can execute. I feel like the Clippers have had a pretty good game plan. King said, overall thoughts so far on us right now, starting to get hit with injuries right now. I've been talking about it. If there was a time to get hit by injuries, it's now. They only play 5 games the next 2 weeks. And that's when Terrence Mann and DJ are going to be reevaluated. Ray said, how did the Nuggets do in their last game? Last I saw was them against the Hawks. Is Murray still in a slump? They wiped the floor with the Hawks in Atlanta after losing the day before when Nikola Jokic had 56 against the Washington Wizards. They lost on the road to the Wizards and then came back and stomped on Atlanta, who had won 6 in a row and had beaten Cleveland twice. Overtime victory over the Lakers. They were playing, I think it's the best Atlanta has looked since the Eastern Conference Finals when they beat Philly in the second round and Kevin Huerter went off. 6ab said, it's been a while. I need some Clippers basketball for real. I added the last for real. Boonit said, I don't fear Boston. They got some punks over there. Only one that scared me is Derek White. Yeah, they got some championship punks that can play 5 out and have the most switchability in the NBA and are the perfectly tuned basketball team for the modern NBA. But sure, nothing to fear there. Rock said, I wouldn't have mind trying to sneak some Flowers minutes off the bench. We have to remain locked in on what this season is and development opportunities. He's 19. Jonathan, keep moderating. Regulate on these fools. King said, do you think we should try to get Cam Johnson? Another car. Dennis or Dorian Finney-Smith from Brooklyn. They make all of them available, or they made them available. I don't think they can get Cam Johnson. Dorian Finney-Smith, maybe. Schroeder, I don't know, maybe. I don't think they have the assets. Brooklyn can get better offers. Who out there can't offer more than the Clippers? Tell me. Who has more picks that are restricted than the Clippers? Who has less first-round picks coming up? Everyone could make a better offer for these guys than the Los Angeles Clippers. So why would Brooklyn do it? And maybe they get it done. Lawrence Frank has been cooking. Again, why are you giving up future assets when you don't even know if Kawhi can stay healthy? The only way you can win a championship is if Kawhi can stay healthy. So why would you give away future stuff that could be in the long-term plans for this team for a one-off season or two with a guy who can't stay healthy? It doesn't make any sense. Let's see if Kawhi can stay healthy. He's not even back yet. My God. Stop the trade talk. Stop! I'm sorry. I just can't take anymore. I'm going to go. You guys are melting my brain. Rock said, yes, the trade that almost got the Celtics, Kristaps Porzingis, while keeping Smart. Brogdon thing falling apart worked out. Ray said, okay, so they haven't played since the Atlanta game. Jokic is definitely going for another MVP. Yes, he is. Maddox said, man, in 2021 could have been the Clippers-Bucks finals. We know. Thanks for the salt in the wound. Jazz said, if you're not afraid of Boston, shit. Boonid said, is Jamal Murray still hurt? He didn't play versus Atlanta. Let me check the Nuggets injury report. You guys are going to kill my voice here. So Jamal's got a hamstring injury. He did go through portions of today's practice. Decent chance he plays on Friday, I'd say. Julio said, Adam, since Lou is using a 10-man rotation this year and with Kawhi returning, what would be your starting five and your five off the bench? I'll let you know when Kawhi comes back. Nick Ramos said, shout out to Adam doing pods in the car. He's really about that grind. His Laker neighbors couldn't stop him. Jazz XNC said, I think UConn has more to offer than the Clippers in a trade right now. Relax, y'all. Rock said, and you guys really think Cameron Johnson would stay healthy here with this injury history already? Trying to taunt the Clippers curse? There's no curse. Alfie said, our best chances to get anyone is in the buyout market. King said, I don't know. Do you see us making a move come February? I've been seeing people say we need I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Y'all cooked me. Y'all beat me into submission. I can't keep talking about stupid ass trades. I'm sorry. I can't. My position is you can't give up anything of value right now. PJ Tucker, okay. Bones, he doesn't play anyways. I think he'll have a good career somewhere. But you can't give up anything of value to bring in more high-end talent on bigger contracts because you think Kawhi is going to be able to stay healthy when we don't know that's the case. And in fact, everything has told us over the last 4 years it's not the case. My God. Stop the dumbass trades. I love y'all, but stop. I'm in a fucking parked car. Can we get some actual interesting conversation that doesn't involve a trade machine? Who on earth has ever actually put together something in a trade machine that actually happened in real life? Has that ever happened once? Josh said, I think Tomer should be in the rotation. He's closer to coming back than Kawhi. Give him a 10-day. I'll get his jumper right before Friday. Lizio said, why are you all so desperate for a trade when this team is built to perfection for a healthy Kawhi? Let's at least see how this team looks after a healthy Kawhi. I know! I literally said that earlier today on Clips and Dip. How about You get Kawhi back. You see if he can stay healthy. You see what the team looks like with Kawhi, where their deficiencies are, and then you make a move. My God. I don't have to explain this all the time. Y'all did. It's too late for this S. It is too late. You're killing me. Stop the trades. You know what? Maybe it's my fault. I should have just time out these people. That's how people learn. That's how you get a correction in behavior. Keep asking trades. I'll time you out. Let's see what happens. Rock said, by the time man is back in a rhythm, he won't even be a trade option. So anything happening would be very small, maybe bones for a second. They broke Adam. S said, at the start of the season, people were talking about starting over and rebuilding. So far, Clippers have done a great job of working with the talent we have, beating expectations without rebuilding. They have been able to thread the needle, being competitive while staying flexible and under the first apron. My guy MKXLNT said that epic facepalm. I'm crying. I'm crying. I'm in a parked car at 10:21 Pacific time in Burbank. It's scary. Now that I see people walking by. Oh man, I don't like this. Are they walking a dog or something at least, please? That makes me feel a little bit better. Do people really go for late night walks? Is this it? Is this the end? Am I getting killed here? They are kind of walking towards me. Man, this is spooky. I can't tell if they're walking up to me or not. No. They're turning the corner. Just observing the clown in his car. Talking to himself is what it looks like. We're okay. Until they circle back. It really heightens the atmosphere for these podcasts. I mean, there's no thrill if there's no stakes. What's a Clippers talk if there isn't some impending doom involved? Lizio said, we are currently a top 6 team without our best player. I don't know about you all, but that's damn impressive too. Manny Lopez said, can we trade these trade machines obsessed fans to the Lakers? Thank you. Don't make me say it. Don't make me say what you sound like with some of these crazy trades. Sergio Sandoval said Taco Bell has a good $7 deal. I'm just saying, Adam. Ray said he's in a van down by the river. You're going to be doing a lot of trade machines when you're living in a van down by the river. Is that Bill Shakespeare over there? Maddox said, once Kawhi is back and could stay healthy, we can make the Western Conference Finals, Adam. Preaching to the choir. Jazz said, trying to do that in Pacoima, Adam. It's scarier. Rock said, can't be scared in Burbank, Adam. Oh, so I'm a little bitch, huh? Just because it's Burbank? I'm near the LA Equestrian Center. The mean streets of Burbank? You don't know? Bonit said PG was an S. He was in a slump for a month, an absolute bum that never knew what he wanted. MKXLNT said, just don't say Chuck 3 times. Is that going to bring Chucky or Charles Barkley? Rock said, looking like the Blair Witch Project. I'm so scared. I'm so scared right now. I love that movie. Not enough booger action. David Hong said, yeah, I realized that Boston ripped us a new one. but I'm not sold on them. I'm not sold on the team that just won the NBA championship, retained everybody that was there when they won it. They got lucky. Lucky. Come on. David said, man, looks like you are car camping. Maddox said, Adam, are you friends with BJ Matthew? I am. He was DMing me earlier. I think he was trying to say, he was pointing to Norman Powell, who made the comment about how the addition by subtraction quote from him has been twisted and taken out of context, and all he meant was, of course, is a bigger opportunity for him and other guys, which is what I said he meant the entire time. Norm's not like that. He wouldn't just throw shade at Paul George like that. I know what he meant. But it is addition by subtraction. And he has outplayed Paul George by a pretty wide margin this season. And I think he's going to end up looking like the better player. Not just because of his contract. I think by the end of this season, people are going to say, we're going to have a dialogue here. It appears Norman Powell is now better than Paul George. Josh XNC said, yes, just because it's Burbank. You are down the street, man. Smoke a blunt and chill. Boonit said, are you going to sleep in the car? My apartment is like pretty close. Why would I do that? Ugh. Every time I look over, I see my reflection. I get scared. Hey, Human Adam, says DM. Rock said, all that heavy breathing. This won't be monetized. King said, I know Kawhi was in and out last year for the playoffs. Do you believe if he does the same, do you like our chances? And if he stays healthy, what's our ceiling in your opinion? If he does the same, if he's in and out last year in the playoffs, I don't like our chances. He wasn't close to himself. Ex-Mongo Project said, now this is the actual Clippers talk after dark. It's getting dark, guys. It's getting a little creepy, getting grim. All right. Is there a live tomorrow after dark? If I'm alive. I do shows every day. Better ask somebody. Yeah, we got another show coming up tomorrow. Probably a preview of the Denver game, something more in depth. So I just really came out here to test this microphone, but now it's been like an hour and 7. Just like knowing what my capabilities are. Now, if my car didn't start, now I'm in a horror movie. I'm definitely dead. Hit the BJ's happy hour. Safe parking lot too. Maddox said he loves my shows and BJ Matthews. All right, I'm out of here. I gotta get ready for bed. Appreciate you guys, even the ones that brought up the crazy trades and continue not to listen to my point about how they shouldn't give up anything of value until you see where Kawhi's health is at. And making a big trade right now makes 0 sense because we don't even know if Kawhi can stay healthy. So why are you making a trade to help their top end or to raise their ceiling when you don't know if Kawhi can stay healthy? Because he is their ceiling. If he's healthy, yes, they have a chance. If he's not, they don't. So don't make a move until you know he can stay healthy. That's my TED Talk. All right. Be good. Appreciate y'all. This has been another episode of Clippers Talk After Dark. Scariest one yet. Oh no, I'm going towards the light. Peace.